For some people, the default state of mind is naturally positive. Unless there is a specific reason to be upset, they experience a pleasant baseline. But for others, the default state is stressed or negative, requiring a massive external stimulus just to feel okay. This biological network represents your default emotional baseline. When that baseline tilts into the negative, it directly dictates measurable biological markers, elevating your daily cortisol levels and increasing your resting heart rate. This biological default is a product of established neural pathways, and the brain's flexibility allows us to consciously intervene and modify those connections. We can initiate this change through a targeted 40-day protocol that requires exactly 5 minutes of daily effort. It is a systematic method designed to physically train your brain to summon positive emotions on command. Completing this protocol targets the brain's physical architecture to shift your long-term biological baseline. Before starting the 40 days, you need 3 things: a dedicated notebook, a pen, and a guarantee of 5 minutes of complete, uninterrupted quiet time alone. Setup begins with your foundation. Draw 2 columns in your journal. List 10 positive emotions on one side and 10 negative emotions on the other. If you struggle to identify 20 distinct feelings off the top of your head, simply search online for a master list of emotions and pull your choices from there. As you write down words like envy or aggression, avoid judging them as bad. These negative emotions are vital tools required for the exercise, not monsters you need to suppress. Explicitly defining this full spectrum of your emotional vocabulary is the absolute prerequisite. You must build this list before any cognitive rewiring can begin. This diagram maps out the timeline. For the first 20 days, you will select just 1 emotion from your list per day. Your daily task is to spend 5 minutes recalling at least 3 specific past events where you strongly felt that day's chosen emotion. There is a strict safety constraint for this step. You must be completely isolated and emotionally at ease. Multitasking, like driving, is entirely ruled out. Once you recall those 3 distinct memories, physically write them in your journal under that day's chosen emotion. You will repeat this single emotion 3 memory process every day until all 20 items on your list are documented. Phase 1 is strictly about data collection. You are building the raw archival material necessary for the actual brain training that follows. On day 21, the actual rewiring begins. You will return to the top of your list and revisit the exact memories you wrote down 20 days ago. Here is the mechanism. Close your eyes and actively recreate the sights, sounds, and smells of those specific memories. The goal is to trick your brain into physically experiencing that emotion in the present. This intense recall activates higher emotional areas. By forcing the feeling to surface, the associated neural pathways physically thicken and strengthen. Expect this specific phase to be grueling. It requires intense concentration and patience to actually force a past feeling into the present moment. Enduring the mental friction of this intense focus is the exact mechanism that upgrades the brain's emotional control center. This flowchart illustrates the end goal of the 40 days: rapid, real-time emotion conversion. You are building the capacity to take a negative reactive state and convert it into a positive, intentional response. For example, if you face sudden anxiety about your job, you can use your newly strengthened optimism pathway to hijack that fear, pivoting your focus toward the anticipation of a better opportunity. During a tense argument with a family member, you can actively recall your strengthened trust pathway. This allows you to diffuse the hostility and open up a productive conversation. Emotional control is the trained neural capacity to pivot to a productive feeling the moment a negative reaction begins. The roadmap is clear. You build the blueprint, log your past in phase 1, and relive those feelings in phase 2. The repetition of these 40 days lowers the neurological threshold for positive states. This creates a stable, rhythmic baseline, requiring less conscious effort. So take the first step. Open your notebook right now, draw your 2 columns, and write down your first 20 emotions. Emotional resilience is not a fixed personality trait. It is a physical skill, and you can start training it today.